everyone, and thanks for joining us. The Nnpc GMD's charge to the new helmsmanship of the Nnpc Retail Limited is not only about clean hands, clean books, clean slate, but also clean products, right quality, right quantity, right price. That's the sneak preview of stories and events trending, but on the center stage of the package, the full length of the TAPE will be applied in the choice of Nnpc's oil asset lead insurer. Malam Military has said TAPE is progressing unabated. Nnpc's trailblazer and mother of all corporate social responsibility programs in focus. We're glad you could join us. My name is Cda Grant. This is our Gas Forum.
It is a very excellent occasion, and they've done exceptionally well for the youth of this country, giving them good education, and also the spirit of trying to get all young people from all parts of the country to know their country through this quiz, as well as helping the unity and oneness of the country.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) and the United States Trade and Development Agency (USTDA) have concluded arrangements to sign a $1.16 million grant as part of funding for the Nnpc Abuja Independent Power Project (IPP), modeled to generate 1,350 megawatts of electricity to alleviate the power challenge in the country. This was disclosed at a business meeting between the management of Nnpc and the U.S. Trade and Development Agency at the Nnpc Towers at Abuja, where both parties agreed to close out the deal on 1st December 2019. The Group Managing Director of the Nnpc, Malam Military, said that the plan by the National Oil Company to build the 1,350 megawatts power plant in Abuja was part of the strategy to monetize the abundant natural gas resources in the country.
We focus on delivering gas to power, and you can't do that without having the right infrastructure in place. We have made significant progress on the gas delivery lines across the country, and particularly in respect of the project that you are sponsoring, to get the AKK pipeline in place so that it can deliver power to these power plants.
The US Cda Grant was to complement the ongoing FEED project in order to make the Abuja IPP initiative more bankable for strategic investors' participation. In her remark, the country manager, Power Africa, and the leader of the USTDA delegation, Julian Forster, stated that her organization was determined to work with the corporation to sign off on the grant not later than 1st December 2019.
We are, again, very interested in working with Nnpc. We're certainly open to looking at other projects.
The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), Malam Military, has challenged the Board of Directors and Management of the Nnpc Retail Limited to sustain the company's culture of delivering unadulterated petroleum products to Nigerians in its filling stations nationwide. The GMD gave the charge in Abuja during the inauguration of a new Board of Directors for the company.
We have to maintain these two principal operational advantages that we have. By every means, that's the management must focus on making sure that our products are not adulterated, and the meters for both our own stations and those of our affiliates are also free from tampering.
Responding to the charge, the Chief Operating Officer, COO Gas and Power and Chairman of the Board of Directors, Engineer Usman Yusuf, assured of his team's readiness to deliver on the task.
GMD will assure you that the tax before us will be discharged with transparency, performance excellence. That is the hallmark of our TAPE agenda.
As part of measures to ensure safety and smooth operation in the petroleum products distribution value chain, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), in collaboration with other stakeholders in the petroleum industry and the federal government, have activated the Safe to Load initiative to mitigate incessant petroleum products tanker accidents and ensuing fire outbreaks across the country. The meeting of the stakeholders which held at the Nnpc Towers, Abuja, was sequel to the initiative of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, and the Interministerial Committee for Haulage Operations in Nigeria, aimed at ensuring safety in the whole gamut of bridging process across the country. The Group Managing Director of Nnpc, Malam Kyari, said preferring a lasting solution to the challenge had become imperative, given the frequent fire incidents from petroleum tankers with attendant loss of lives and properties. Malam Kyari stated that the corporation, as a socially responsible entity, placed high premium on the lives of workers and citizens, noting that safety was one of the core values of the organization.
We're doing everything possible to make sure that our roads are safe, particularly when it comes to transportation of petroleum across our roads in the country.
Speaking at the event, the Secretary to Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, who was represented by Mr. Ademola Ali, said his office remained committed to ensuring safe roads for petroleum product distribution in the country.
SGF has always been concerned about the safety on our roads, and the government is doing a lot to ensure that we have a safe road.
Making a contribution at the event, National Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO President Alhaji Kasim Bataya, solicited the intervention of government in funding the subsector, saying safety on the road was a responsibility of all stakeholders, drivers, law enforcement agencies, among others.
Let's do our best, and we in NATO we are ready to support Nnpc and all the stakeholders to ensure there is safety on our road.
In his remark, the President, Petroleum Tanker Drivers PTD Otumba Oladiti, commended the management of Nnpc for its consistent interventions in cushioning the hardship faced by tanker drivers in their task of distributing products across the country.
Nnpc management, they are doing a lot of things for this country. Anytime they hear that petroleum tanker driver, they want to dantus because of bad roads and this, they mobilize contractor to go and do palliative measure.
Earlier in his presentation, the president of the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, Comrade Akporia Williams, lauded the corporation for always complying with all safety standards in all its depots and restated the union's commitment to work with the Nnpc management in ensuring the success of the Safe to Load initiative.
What will happen today if we allow states to be constructing roads in their own domain? I think that would help us.
The Group Managing Director of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, Nnpc, Malam Kyari, has called on insurance brokerage firms that participated in the expression of interest to ensure Nnpc's oil and non-oil assets to be wary of anyone who will promise to help them win the bid, as the corporation does not operate in such a shady manner. The GMD gave the warning at the Nnpc Towers, Abuja, during the public opening of bids for insurance broker for Nnpc oil and non-oil assets and liability for the year 2020 and 2021.
I'm just putting it on record today that anybody that promises you that is going to help you to win this bid is a liar, is a fraud, and if you know, please tell us so that we can take appropriate action. Me and my colleagues were determined to make sure that the best come out of this.
Also speaking at the event, Group General Manager, Risk Management and Insurance Division, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed, noted that the bid opening was conducted in the full glare of representatives of the bidding companies and other stakeholders to demonstrate Nnpc's commitment to transparency and due process in all its operations.
The objective of the exercise is to ensure transparency. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me. You can see the whole management of Nnpc are here to witness this exercise to ensure transparency, which is key to what we do.
The selection of insurer for the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation's Nnpc's asset for 2020-2021 would be transparent, just as is the practice in other areas of the corporation's operation nationwide, the National Oil Company has said. The Group Managing Director of Nnpc, Malam Kyari, gave the assurance at the Nnpc Towers during the public bid opening exercise for companies that participated in the expression of interest as lead insurer for the corporation oil assets.
I'm reassuring this country and for the rest of our stakeholders that we're poised to make sure that this company acts and works transparently and will remain accountable to our shareholders and our stakeholders. But most importantly, it's a matter of duty for me and our management team to deliver on this.
Also speaking at the event, Chief Financial Officer of the corporation, Mr. Umar Ajia, said a key attribute of an organization like the Nnpc was the protection of human assets, adding that the exercise was in pursuance of that objective.
No one should tell you that he can influence the outcome of this process. Your bid is your answer. If you put the best, you should be happy that at the end of the day you will end up to be one of the selected companies.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Nnpc National Science Quiz Competition is the flagship corporate social responsibility program of the corporation, and it commenced in 2000 for just the Niger Delta but went national in 2001. This year's edition of the quiz competition is the 18th in the series. Over the years, the corporation's flagship quiz competition has produced a lot of professionals across various science-inclined fields of human endeavors across the globe. Indeed, the Nnpc has touched the lives of these high flyers by shaping their destinies to impact humanity positively. For two former heads of state, the Nnpc National Science Quiz Competition does not only promote the study of science, technology, engineering and mathematics (STEM), but the competition is serving as a platform to promote the unity of Nigeria.
I'm particularly delighted that the quiz competition is an all-encompassing event. It is gratifying that the competition, through its various stages, has succeeded in bringing together the next generation of innovators.
The essential philosophy of this national service quiz competition is rooted on the desire to ensure that the production line of highly skilled labor remains intact.
Some state governors who attended the 17th edition of the quiz competition have this to say about the noble CSR activity of the Nnpc.
Testimony of those who have been before, and judging by their achievement, individual and collective, it shows that cumulatively over the years the process has really been integrity driven, because everyone is an achiever.
We need to encourage our youths. We need to sort of give them hope. They are the leaders of tomorrow, and by such doing, we'll propel them, make them to excel.
A former House of Representatives member, Honorable Joseph Akinlaja, who was visibly impressed by the efforts of the Nnpc to promote the study of sciences, urged the corporation to sustain the legacy for the good of the upcoming generations.
You could see tracking the program from inception. It has produced engineers, for example, that was involved in building the largest FIFSO. It has produced doctors, it has produced high-class engineers that can hold its own all over anywhere in the world.
Some of the high flyers comment on how the scholarship program provided by the Nnpc through the National Science Quiz Competition paid their tuition fees, bought their books and boosted their confidence to face the daily academic challenge in high school.
Winning the competition, there was the obvious monetary benefits and the scholarship, per year throughout my university education. But much more than that financial benefit was the benefit that came with the aura of winning the competition. I remember back then I was probably just 15 or 16 years of age, and it was a big thing because I was celebrated in my secondary school. It was announced on the media. I got to travel to states I'd never been to in Nigeria.
Financially, there was the Nnpc scholarship, which afforded me the opportunity to be able to pay for books and a personal effect while I was in university.
Financially, I did receive the Nnpc scholarship as well, which was given to me as part of my university education.
It's really helped a lot because then the funding for the 5 years helped both pay for tuition and upkeep in school. So we're really excited getting that.
The first thing, it exposed me to issue of nationality, a nation called Nigeria. Previously, when I was in secondary school, yes, I know about Nigeria, but I only know Nigeria through the spectacle of Kano. But when I went there, I saw people from other states, people that we built a long-term relationship, people that we are still in contact. I fell in love when I went for the competition. So I met a girl from Edo, and we are still in contact, although it didn't materialize. But that taught us a lesson that this kind of national things can bridge gaps. Because a typical Hausa boy from Kano falling in love with a girl from Edo, that's really inspiring.
I would like to be part of Nnpc and continue to be with them for life, and I will wish Nnpc more grace to their elbow.
They've really touched so many people's lives in positive ways from different regions, different zones of the country.
They really touched my life in many positive ways. They gave me that hope. I grabbed it, and the experience I had, the kind of challenge I was put through in that oral finale was something that built me and made me to know that there is nothing I cannot do except I don't set my mind on it.
Being part of the competition helped me see myself in a different light. I'm now bolder, able to take more risks. Like I think, okay, if you go for something, you can actually get it.
Nnpc did a really amazing job. It goes a long way to show that they are very much interested in not just education, but in excellence too.
It's cut across every geopolitical zone in Nigeria. It's not partial, it's not biased, it does not discriminate. Once you are able to perform, you are awarded the scholarship.
There was a lot of confidence and moral boost in winning that competition, because you start looking at other exams and other competitions with an easier outlook that if you can go for it, you can win.
It shows that that's actually a corporation that has the interest of the young people in this country at heart, and that I think is very commendable.
Okay, I would like to say a big thank you to Nnpc for the opportunity they created by organizing such a quiz competition, and then for the scholarship and other benefits that came with it. So I also want to encourage them to continue.
After the competition, I came to realize that I didn't need to allow other people to define who I was. That if I set a goal with determination, perseverance, sacrifice, I can achieve it.
Nnpc is doing a great job. They have shown that they have the interest and commitment not only in their primary duties but also in building the community around them.
When the Nnpc says we touch your lives in many positive ways, it is living up to that and its reputation as a corporation that aims to promote academic excellence among secondary school students in Nigeria.
I'll borrow this quote by Guy de Chauliac. He said that we are better because we stand on the shoulders of giants. Nnpc already is a giant, and I'm one that leads by example, and I'm proud to be standing on a platform which they made possible.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Nnpc, has indeed touched the lives of Nigerians in many positive ways, not only in ensuring energy security, but also in ensuring intellectual security for the energy sector and for the entire spectrum of the Nigerian society.
Glad to have you join us on the feedback segment of the program. I am Julia Auta. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (Nnpc) participated in the just concluded Lagos International Trade Fair. This week, we bring to you feedback all the way from Eko City from people who visited the corporation's pavilion.
When I came to the fair, I saw the stand was catchy. So I came here with my mom and said, this is the mega Nnpc we used to hear all over the country. So when we came here, it is just typically Nigerian.
And I've learned a lot of things, like where we get the three places where we get refineries, which are Warri, Port Harcourt and Kaduna.
With what I've seen here, even with foreign investors, I noticed that Nnpc is one of the most organized corporate organizations that we have in this trade fair.
We just concluded the Nnpc day, which was very educative and brief, straight to the point, which I must commend Nnpc for.
The issue of fuel crisis that we've been able to solve over the years now, the queue that you have been able to remove now, is great. And I hope you keep it up.
The Nnpc is indeed a world-class oil and gas company driven by shared commitment to excellence. And that's it on this segment. Please don't go away. The rest of the program continues.
Hello and welcome to this educative segment of the program. My name is Abigail Ojobo. Did you know that the 1977 indigenization decree made Nnpc to control majority stake in the entire Nigerian oil and gas industry? The Nnpc's operation was examined by the 1980 Crude Oil Sales Tribunal and recommended the establishment of subsidiaries. Did you know that in 1981, the Nnpc created subsidiaries for exploration and exploitation, refining and petrochemicals, gas, marine transportation, research and engineering? Despite the global oil glut in the early 1980s, the Nnpc found itself on a stronger commercial footing. Did you also know that Nnpc took an increasingly active role in the country's gas sector and consolidated its liquefied natural gas holding to 60%? I'm sure it has been educative. Please stay tuned for Global Crude Oil Outlook and more on the program.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil rose after industry data showed a surprise drop in U.S. crude inventories, while OPEC Secretary General Dr. Mohammed Barkindo said lower than expected U.S. shale production growth in 2020 also provided some support.
We have 5 technical meetings, very important meetings that will look at all these issues. We'll review the current situation, not only the supply and demand, but other factors that I imagine that you refer to outside our control. And it is the combination of all this that will guide the conference on the 5th and the 6th.
Prices, however, were capped by mixed signs for oil demand in China, the world's biggest crude importer, as industrial output rose more slowly than expected in October, but oil refinery throughput hit the second highest level ever. Brent crude futures rose 39 cents or 0.6% to $62.76 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude gained 39 cents or 0.7% to reach $57.51 per barrel. The Secretary General of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC, Dr. Barkindo, said that there will be likely downward revision of supply going into 2020, especially from United States shale, adding that some U.S. shale oil firms see outputs growing by only 300,000 to 400,000 barrels per day. Barkindo's comments were also in contrast with forecasts by the U.S. Energy Information Administration, EIA, that U.S. oil production is on course to hit new records this year and next. The American Petroleum Institute reported an unexpected drop in crude stockpiles by 541,000 barrels in the week to November 8 against analyst expectations. OPEC and its allies, including Russia, meet on December 5 to 6 to discuss output policy and production curbs of 1.2 million barrels per day that have been in place since January with the aim of supporting crude prices. The pact runs to March 2020. And that's it on this segment of the program. I am Owigo Okolo.
I must at this stage commend the current management of the Nnpc for keeping the flag flying by ensuring that the corporation operates as a truly Nigerian state-owned oil corporation.
That's the package, Nnpc's Oil and Gas Forum. We hope you found how it went last week. Very delightsome. It's the season of question and answers on Nnpc National Science Quiz Competition. Before the winner emerges, you're the winner. Join us next week.